Ever since ZZZ came out, this was a comparison which was going to be made by pretty much anyone who plays ZZZ and has touched Genshin or Star Rail in the past. But on this video, we're going to be focusing only on ZZZ and Genshin Impact and compare the two, compare their peaks and their cons, everything of the sort in this video. And of course, if I get anything wrong in this video, I have only played ZZZ for like 1 or 2 days. I'm not the best at it, so please, if I get any information wrong, please let me know in the comment section. I'm doing a base day 1 review. ZZZ is Hoyoverse's brand new RPG game, a little new gacha game, you know, new mechanics, new everything. Now, since it's produced by the same company, they will try to add incentives which will get people to go from Genshin onto this new game because of new features, new elements, new things. Essentially, they try to make the game more unique and try to push players onto that game, while also simultaneously keeping players playing Genshin Impact and also consuming ZZZ in a way to generate profit from both Genshin and ZZZ. Too difficult, don't care. Anyways, let's compare, first of all, their systems and how the game initially works and how the resources are basically managed. The way leveling works in Zenless Zone Zero is essentially like Genshin Impact, but it's more on the scale of Star Rail, where it's not that hard to ascend characters, but leveling up still takes, like, you know, you got the purple books, you've got the blue books, and you've got the green books. So essentially, ascension and leveling up characters feels familiar. Putting on weapons is also very, very similar to Star Rail, in the way that every character in the game has got their own unique weapon, but you can add, like, let's say like a star or light cone onto it in order to get specific buffs. And the way these weapons are applied is almost an exact reskin of Honkai Star Rail, where every single character has got a specific attribute and like their playstyle dictates what kind of weapons they can use. And if that playstyle matches that weapon, they can use that weapon, and if it doesn't match, they can't use that weapon. So essentially what ZZZ is doing is taking Honkai Star Rail's elements and implementing them, trying to make them a bit better and more quality of life. Next up is the gacha system, which, oh my god, what? We got both the fairies! Which is what pretty much everyone compares new gacha games with. The way Honkai Star Rail was compared to Genshin's, within Waves was compared to Genshin, that kind of stuff. Now let me tell you, Zenless Zone Zero has a really generous way of giving people incentive to play the game by giving a lot of the game's equivalent of Primogems, which are like polychromes. I'm probably pronouncing that horribly wrong. If you log on the game now, you can get so much wishes. You can literally get like 30 pulls, I'm pretty sure, if you pre-registered, just by logging into the game for the very first time. And then when you unlock events, you get another 10 pull, and you get 10 pulls every single like level milestone you get. It is really good, and surprisingly gives you a lot of wishes. Now, with the amount of wishes that you get given, essentially it is enough to get you your first guaranteed S rank or 5-star in this game, considering the fact that on the standard banner, your first 5-star is guaranteed at 50 pulls, which is really good. A really good and well-made system in order to, you know, basically everyone who starts the game fresh will have at least 1 5-star on their account, essentially just by playing for like the first like hour or 2 of the game. It is amazing. It is such a good incentive to keep players on the game, because, you know, it's not like Genshin where you have to grind, and they may even take you up to like level 40 to get your first 5-star. Well, not in this game. In ZZZ, you can probably get your first 5-star around like level 10, level 8 maybe, but I'm pretty sure like around level 10 is probably like when you are going to get your first 5-star for the majority of players. Also, the banner system, let's talk about that. The banners, obviously, you got the limited character, you got the standard character, and you've got the weapon banner, just like pretty much every other gacha game, especially like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. It just feels really familiar. So if you already played Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact in the past, picking up this game will be a lot easier for you than if you haven't. But since we're talking about weapons, let's talk about characters and combat. The characters in this game, I must applaud for how unique they are. Like, we have got designs which haven't really been seen before in any Hoyoverse gacha game. For example, Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, and like Honkai, the other Honkai game. Essentially, what I really like is how these characters are designed, and pretty much it will allow you, for anyone who picks up the game, to have an incentive and be like, you know what, I like this character, or I like this character. It is so well done to the point where it's scary. Obviously, there isn't that much characters out right now, but as time goes on, I'm sure there'll be a character for everyone to want to pull for, because that's how it works. These Hoyoverse will always create characters which they want people to pull for. That's how it works. That's how they make money as a free-to-play game. You play the game, but you spend money on these banners, because the whole point of gacha games is to give you this feeling of a fear of missing out, where if you really want a character, you really need to grind really hard for them, which means playing the game more. Or if it's the last day and you can't farm enough to get that character, you will spend money inevitably to get that character if you really want them. And that is exactly what they want. And this fear of missing out really, as a business standpoint, it helps gacha games make money exponentially. It is silly. It is stupid how many times I've came close to the end of a banner on Genshin Impact and I've been like, I really want this character, and I really want to spend. I'm not really a big spender on Genshin since I'm not really that rich of a person, but there have been times where I bought like 2 or 3 Welkins right before a banner ends just to get those like extra last Primogems before the banner ends. Which, if the banner lasted forever, I would have never done because it would have been like, okay, I can just grind. And these banners really are unpredictable for when characters rerun because there is no guarantee when they will rerun. They never tell you, oh, this character's going to rerun in this update, this character's going to rerun in this update. Don't worry, there have been instances where characters have been missing on banners for over a year on Genshin Impact, and that fear sits in the back of people's head when the banner's about to switch. Like, okay, when's this character going to come back? When's this character going to make an appearance again for me to wish for them? And that kind of fear of missing out drives so much of these sales. Alright, yap session over, let's go over to the combat. Zenless Zone Zero's combat is seriously impressive in my opinion. One thing I had with Honkai Star Rail is that the combat felt like kind of a downgrade than from Genshin Impact, and that's why I didn't really stick with the game much, because the gameplay is just turn-based combat. It gets dry pretty quick. I don't know if anyone agrees with me, and that's fine if you don't, but to me, I get really tired of games like that. Sure, you can see cool animations, but how much can you really look at these animations before you're like, you know, this is kind of boring? Because sure, when I saw Himiko's burst for the first time, I was amazed. I was like, yeah, I want to use this forever, But like now, I look at it and I'm like, what, okay, it's just boring. It really just, you get tired of it so fast. And it really has been like a major thing that's put me off the game, because the game just isn't engaging enough with the combat for me. And Zenless Zone Zero completely fixes that issue for me. Combat is so innovative and so amazing, and it genuinely might be an upgrade to Genshin Impact's combat. Because in this new combat system, you can parry. Dodging actually allows you to counter attack and allows you to basically deal more damage on enemies, and parrying and dodging is like an actual mechanic in this game, which isn't just used for iframes, but it is genuinely used for specific playstyles. And there's literally like specific elements and specific things like attributes which you can upgrade on artifacts, which actually help you increase the effectiveness of these effects. I'm not really too well versed in them, but there's things like stun and stuff. If there's someone in the comments who's nice enough to explain them for me and the rest of the people, please do, because the game is really in depth and it's fresh and not a lot of people understand, including me, so please clue me in. But I know for a fact there's characters and stuff which help increase the effects of that. Kind of like the way in Honkai Star Rail you have the break effect, opponent and break their shield. Essentially you get like a massive boost of damage, and that's the kind of thing that is with ZZZ. But I think it's more expanded upon and actually like a huge part of the gameplay, because when you have these enemies in these stances, that you do significantly more damage. And there's these things called chain attacks where, like, I'm pretty sure if you get enough points or like destroy or attack an opponent enough, you will end up dealing massive amounts of damage to them, because your characters will switch constantly. They'll play off of each other, they will like synchronize with each other, and it feels really fun and well and satisfying to play. Like the gameplay, it really feels like satisfying to me. And the only thing I have a complaint about is still we have only 60 FPS modes on PC. I really don't know why this is a thing. Why can't they just make the game 144 so I can enjoy it in 144 FPS? Because my PC can handle it. And seeing all these animations and these numbers pop up with that kind of refresh rate and response would make my day. And I think my brain would melt and I'd be addicted to that game, honestly, if it was that smooth. But that's also an issue in every single Hoyoverse game, so I'm not going to rule it out as a bad thing for ZZZ. But they really could change it, and they really should change it. Because I'm pretty sure even some phones have 120 FPS modes on Genshin Impact, which I don't get why, if we can't get it on PC, without using like some external app. Which I don't know if that's allowed, and I'm not going to be using that, because I simply don't want to risk my account getting stolen or hacked, or just banned in general for using third-party software. Overall, I don't know if you can tell, but I am really excited for the combat of this game. It really innovates, and it really like sits well with me, because it is really rewarding. Like when you hit 3 parries in a row, or if you hit like 2, or I don't know, if you just hit multiple parries in a row, that feeling is so satisfying, where like your characters will switch and attack for you. It is so nice. And overall, it actually may be an upgrade from Genshin Impact's combat. And I really hope that Zenless Zone Zero isn't just this game which will basically be drowned in the content of other gacha games. I don't want it to be seen as another gacha game. I want it to be seen as a game which actually innovates on that gacha game aspect, innovates on combat, innovates on mechanics, because overall it does an amazing job with amazing rewards, amazing everything. Even though it is a brand new game, I still think that that reward is amazing, and I am really looking forward to the future of Zenless Zone Zero, and I hope the developers don't mess it up. I hope they add a lot of stuff along the way, because I really love the game. and I haven't played it enough to give my opinion on, you know, the progression of the story and the progression of stuff, because I haven't played enough. So this, as a day 1 review, day 2 review, this is like bare bones. Take everything else in with a grain of salt, really, and give your feedback in the comments below, and like the video if you liked it, and subscribe. Of course, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did watch this far, I appreciate you so much, and please follow my Twitch and TikTok account, because I do go live on there, more on TikTok, because TikTok allows me to like get a bigger audience, and I love having a nice audience, and I really hope that I can see you there, and you know, you can ask me questions, I can ask you questions. We're gonna have a great time. So please follow my accounts, and you know, have an amazing day. I love you all. This video is probably gonna take ages to edit, so pray for me, and I hope you have an amazing day.